What's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 23 of Blindside Sports. I'm Emmett Douglas, the host of this program. This should be a quicker episode because I only have two stories to get to. But before I dive into those, I just want to say this is the third episode of the week. The grind never stops. This is historical. This is historical. I've never made three episodes in 1 week, right? So, without further ado, I just got to say, fighting my numbers are they're they're okay. They're not, but they're still there. They're doing good. 3 episodes a week is a lot to watch, and the show's getting promoted a lot. So the grind never stops. Thank y'all for tuning in, doing the support. Follow me on Twitter at BlindsidePod11. That is the show. Get me personally at EmmettNocy04. Get me on Instagram at EmmettNocy. Get the show at BlindsidePod00. And then the show's also on TikTok at BlindsidePod7. No, sorry. I messed all that spiel up. Blindside Sports 00 on Insta, Blindside Sports 7 on Twitter, Blindside Pod 11, Blindside Sports 7 on TikTok, Blindside Pod 11 on Twitter. Without further ado, let's get into the first story. So David Coley was fired from the Houston Texans after just one 4-13 season. And if you want my complete honest opinion, I don't like this at all. I really don't like this at all. This guy was, so when he got here to an unhappy Deshaun Watson. His star quarterback, he came into that, right? It didn't break like a couple days after Coley, or maybe before. I don't really know the exact. And obviously, the Texans have been a diaper fire for a very long time before that. They were close to making the playoffs with Deshaun Watson in the 2020 season. Like, they had a good year. Or no, they weren't. And I thought I'm like doing some damage. I don't know. But Deshaun, he comes into this dumpster fire situation. And then they have all this off-field controversy with Deshaun Watson and the lawyers and Deshaun Watson's weird massage obsession situation. So it really was kind of a crazy scene out there in Houston for David Coley. Didn't really have that quarterback yet. It did turn out to be Davis Mills, who wasn't bad at all. 4-13, 13 games. Davis threw for around 2,600 yards, 16 touchdowns, 10 picks. Not bad. For a rookie, okay, we'll take it. Showed some promise. They almost screwed the Titans out of their number one seed last Sunday. That was a super close game. And the Texans really, I just feel like one season's too far to judge a guy and to ultimately fire the dude just for one season when there's a lot more going on in that Houston franchise, as we know. Right? Their quarterback position is wide open next year. We don't know who's going to be playing quarterback for him next year. It's probably going to be Davis Mills. I don't think it's going to be Deshaun Watson. I don't know if Deshaun Watson will ever play in the Texans uniform again. Even if the court thing goes well, he's going to ask to trade him or to be traded. And I just think this is a horrible move by the Texans. And look, once 4-13 season with what you had, you can't be mad at. David Coley, like, I just think the firing was a little ridiculous after one season. Texans, they were diaper fire, but it wasn't even his fault. It was from previous situations. And if I'm Brian Flores, I am running away from this job like it's a plague. I am not taking this job in Houston because Brian Flores, as we noted in the last episode, Brian Flores isn't a bad coach. And the Houston Texans are such a diaper fire that if Flores goes there and they, say, see ya after one season, who knows what Brian Flores' coaching career is going to look like, right? We don't know. He doesn't know that uncertainty. Obviously, Texans, I believe they went after him. I think they are going to go after him, but doesn't mean you say yeah. If you're Brian Flores, if you can get that Bears job or the Broncos job or Raiders, something else, that's where I go. The Texans are my least. It is a place that I don't really would want to go. So overall, I think this is a bad job by Houston firing David Coley. The guy had one season to prove himself, bad circumstances. Texas didn't even have a first-round pick this year. That David Coley was there. Didn't have much to work with. And what he did have to work with, he made it work. And I said, I wasn't doing the show, but I'm sure you could find this on Twitter or on the Ben Maller show. When Coley got hired, I was like, I didn't like the hiring because I never heard of him. And that was a horrible way to look at it because the guy wasn't bad. He wasn't great. He's not the next Bill Belichick, but he wasn't bad. Blindside Sports, Emmett Douglas with you. Get me on Twitter at EmmettNotes04. Follow the show at BlindsidePod11. Get me on Instagram, Blindside Sports 00, TikTok, Blindside Sports 7. I nailed that social media situation. If you're listening to the show, make sure you like, comment, turn on the bell, download whatever platform you're on. But the most important thing, share with your friends. Word of mouth advertising is the best advertising, as we all know. And that's how we grow the brand, the supersized Blindside Sports brand, if you will. What else? I think I've done enough plugging for now. Hope you guys having a good Saturday though. Getting you ready for a super wild card weekend. I was listening to Brian Noe last night and he said that and I kind of stole it and it's really good. Yeah, super wild card weekend. There we go. Now without further ado, let's get into super wild card weekend. It feels like one of those fight nights, where it's and now Colin, it just feels like something like that. And I'm gonna pick the Saturday games first because why not? We got the Raiders versus the Bengals. Bengals favored by 5.5 in this one. The over under 48.5. Look, this is a hard one for me to pick. This is both these quarterbacks' first game. Derek Carr, yes, he has more playoff experience, but I like what the Bengals have been doing with Joe Burrow more. And also, I really like what the Raiders have done with all their off-field situations, being able to overcome losing a coach, even though the coach was a POS, right? I got someone on Twitter was like, I tweeted after a Raiders game, cool to see him, make the playoffs after the circumstances. So I was like, it's not circumstances. I'm like, dude, these players, it's both, everything that happened, all the guys are douches. What they did was horrible. I'm not defending it. But having all that change mid-season, losing your coach mid-season, even though he's, probably racist, who he is racist, and losing your players this season, you're losing your player to a fatal DUI accident this season, puts a lot of challenges on the team in the locker room. I'm sure of that. And they were able to overcome it with an interim head coach and make the playoffs. It impresses me. I just had to say that because I don't think I said that in the last episode. But Derek Carr, Joe Burrow, both had their first playoff games. I like that Bengals defense. I feel like in order for the Raiders to have a chance, it's going to be that they're going to have to stop Joe Burrow and they're going to have to stop Joe Mixon. If they could put the pressure on Joe Burrow, I feel like some rookie mistakes could, end up happening. And that's the way the Raiders are going to win. I wouldn't be shocked if the Raiders pull off the upset, but for sake of my pick, give me the Bengals and give me the over with the final score of 31-28. Blindside Sports, Emmett Douglas with you. We'll be here picking the wild card games. Hope you guys are having a good Saturday. Pulling up the over under. All right, so there's a couple storylines I want to get to in the Bills Patriots game, actually. Bills favored by -4.5, over under 43.5. First of all, I'm gonna start with the weather because it kind of leads into the next story. And the next story is something that's been talked about on Sports Talk since like Thursday. That's why I heard about it first. So it is gonna be at 8:15 when the game kicks off, around 8 degrees, and I believe it's gonna feel like -2. I could be wrong on that. When I looked up the weather, it really wasn't that clear. It's probably gonna be worse. And this, we had a similar cold experience out in Buffalo on Monday night, and it really affected the players, and I think it's gonna do the same. And something that the main story here is, or not the main story, but a story that did take place over the week, right? I forgot the guy's name, but an NFL player said Josh Allen should be popping some Viagra because he is having some issues with some circulation. If you guys don't know what Viagra does, it was originally made as a heart medication apparently, and helps you with that situation. But it turned into let's just say it helped you down there if you're picking up on putting down, right? We try to keep the show appropriate. Right. I just think it's funny. And Dawson Knox, who is the Bills tight end, said, look, this could be PEDs. I really don't see Josh Allen doing it. I mean, shoot, if it's not PEDs, desperate times call for desperate matters. But at the same time, Chad Johnson, didn't he do it? I don't know. I'm just saying, but back to the game. We just had to talk about that, right? Super good story. Over under 43.5. Bills are favored by -4.5. Look. Bet the under right now. Bet the under right now. You know you want to do it. Because this is gonna be, I feel like there's two ways that this game is gonna go. The first way is one team's gonna drop like 30 points and the other's just gonna struggle with the offense. Second scenario, which is the more likely one in the way that I'm going here with this pick, it's gonna be more like that Monday night game, and I believe week 12, 13. I believe it was week 12. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Here, I'll look it up. Now I'm curious. It was week 13. It was December 6th, and the final score was 14-10. So, in cold conditions, God, I couldn't imagine though being a football player and having to play in this cold weather, right? Like it must not be too fun, man. Because when I run, and running in the cold is probably one of the weirdest feelings ever. But then again, these players do have a bunch of pads on, so who knows like really how bad it is gonna be. But if I had to pick one, give me the Bills 20-17 over the Patriots. Not a lot of offense here. Expect some slumpy offenses. I think a little more offense than the last game, but I'm not expecting like a shootout, right? I'm not expecting a 24 or like a 34-28 game or like a 42-41 game, like some crazy stuff. It's gonna be a close, low scoring game. Defenses are gonna benefit here. Don't expect too much out of these quarterbacks because cold weather and stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be a good game to watch. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, those are the two Saturday games. Let's move on to the Cowboys Niners, which, if you guys so the Cowboys are favored by -3. The over under is 51.0. Dak Prescott, this guy in the Cowboys, I just can't trust him, man. They looked really good on the first half of this season, and then they've lost some games they shouldn't have lost, kept some games close they shouldn't have been close. And the 49ers have ultimately been on a roll that just can't be slowed down. The 49ers have just gone crazy. And Look, it's probably gonna. I'm leaning more towards the 49ers here. Even though like because look, the Cowboys offense is crazy. You got like Elijah Mitchell, you got the great Deebo Samuel, you got George Kittle, and this is like their time to shine and prove that they're not, bad. But at the same time, the Cowboys are gonna be coming with a lot, and there's only one game this weekend that I think is gonna be a blowout, and we'll get to that in a minute. But I'm definitely leaning towards the Cowboys here, or towards the Niners here. Upset alert. Upset alert. Jimmy G. Expect him to have a good game. Expect him to do it. Right. He can be fine in the wild card. Just wait until the Super Bowl. No, he's not. They're not making the Super Bowl, I don't think. But it's gonna be a close game, and I feel like the Niners can do a good job in holding down Zeke. So overall, give me the Niners 31, Cowboys 24. And that's going over the point spread. All right. There's been a lot of Buccaneers, Eagles, minus 8.5 Tampa Bay favorites. There's been a lot of people wanting to ride the upset of the Eagles against Tom Brady over under 46. And I just can't bring myself to pick that, right? You have a team. It's Jalen Hurts who, okay, this is going to be a really good game. I don't like the spread. Minus 8.5 is too much for me. I don't like that. But I just feel like it's going to come down to the wire. And Tom Brady is gonna like, you don't understand. Regular season Tom Brady and playoff Tom Brady are different. Regular season Tom Brady last year wasn't that good, right? He was good, but he wasn't like Tom Brady good. Playoffs elevated, took the Bucs to the Super Bowl. And yes, they have a lot of injuries. I get that. But Tom Brady is good at adapting to new things. Right? I just can't buy Tom Brady losing in the first round of the Eagles with that Bucs roster. It's not gonna be the over under is 46. Bucs favored by 8.5 in this one. I'm gonna take it with the Buccaneers favor or 27. Eagles 21. It's gonna be like a 6-point game. It's gonna come down to it. Now, this is one of those where I wouldn't be shocked if there isn't a lot of offense, but I'm gonna take the over. Just kind of for fun. But I wouldn't be shocked if there's a lack of offense for the Chiefs. Or for the Buccaneers, or for that game. Over under in the Steelers Chiefs is 46, with the Chiefs favored by 12.5. This is why did they have to put this to Sunday night? Somebody explain why did they have to put this to Sunday night? I feel like there's like not much talking to do about the Steelers Chiefs game, right? I just feel like there's not much to be said. Not going to be a very good game. Big Ben, that they can't score for the life of him. Mahomes can score for the life of him. Now, the Steelers do have a good defense going. I'll give them that, right? The Steelers have good defense, but their lack of offense is what is hurting him horribly. That lack of offense is killer. That lack of offense is it's just not good for the Steelers, and it's ultimately going to cost them because you get the Kansas City Chiefs in the first round. This is one of those games where, look, man, if you got to run some errands, if you got to go, eat dinner with the family, I wouldn't be pressed missing this game. I'm probably still going to watch it because it's playoff football, but my hopes aren't much on this game. I'm obviously picking Kansas City. I think they're very slight chance Pittsburgh comes to win here. Give it like 2%. I just can't buy that the Steelers are going to win against it. And yeah, they have a lot. We kind of previewed this with Eddie Garcia. They have a lot of interesting guys. That they're heading in the right direction, but Big Ben is just not the Big Ben we used to, see back in the day. So I'm going to under in points specifically because of the lack of Pittsburgh offense. Give me Kansas City 30. Give me the Steelers 13. Blindside Sports, Emmett Douglas with you. We've only gotten one upset so far, which is really weird to me. And I'm kind of thinking about this Rams-Cardinals game as we, chop up sports. If you guys, I said it's between the Rams and the Packers a couple weeks ago. I believe, what week was that? I think it was when Tom Brady went down. It might have been with VJ Husky. But anyway, we're going to hop right into this Rams-Cardinals game. Rams are favored by -4 in this one. The over-under in this one's 49.5. Look, we know Matthew Stafford's playoff resume. We all know Matthew Stafford's playoff resume. This is a king Monday night. This is history, guys. History in the wild card playoffs. And it's going to be a really good game. I'm really looking forward to it. If that stupid car drives by my house one more time when I'm recording, no, I'm playing. But anyway, I don't know if you guys heard that, but there was a car, super loud car just driving by. But anyway, without further ado, let's hop into the game. We got Rams Cardinals Monday night, 4.5 or -4, 49.5. The over under is 49.5. Rams are favored in this one by 4 points. So my thing with this game is we don't know what to see with these quarterbacks, right? This is Kyler Murray's, I believe it's his first ever playoff start. And Matthew Stafford, we all know his playoff history. I wouldn't be surprised if there were some sketchy QB games in this one. Wouldn't be surprised if, it wasn't the best at quarterback play for Matt Stafford and for Kyler Murray. And I just feel like it's going to be a close game. Turnovers could happen. We actually saw the Rams Cardinals a while ago. And I'm still thinking about changing my mind on my pick because I had the Rams earlier. But I feel like there's going to be more than one upset. Even though I picked the Rams going forward, it's just Matthew Stafford towards the latter end of the season has been throwing picks and stuff like that since the past, 2 weeks. I'm just starting to become more skeptical of him, even though I said it's between the Rams and the Packers, mostly the Packers. You know what? A pick changed. I still I think the Cardinals are going to upset the Rams. I'm going to take the under in points. 27-24. Wait, no, that's the over. I am stupid. Yeah, that's over. I'll take the over in points barely. 27-24. Cardinals are going to pull this one off. Matthew Stafford, you know what he's going to do in the play. It's going to be some late play that just isn't very good. It could be a pick. It could be anything. I'm just going to roll with the upset because, look, you got to take the upset sometimes. And I'm going to say this. I wouldn't be shocked if the Rams won. Wouldn't be shocked at all. But this is one of those games that's really hard to pick. Right? And if Kyler Murray were to come out and win this one, this would mean so much to him and his, so much for Kyler and Kyler's career that I think, it would be cool to see the Cardinals pull it off and get the upset over the LA Rams. This is going to be such a good matchup. I'm excited for this one. Like I said, though, wouldn't be shocked if the Rams pulled it off and were able to beat the Cardinals. But, hey, I just had to go upset. The other upsets I really wasn't into. Like the only one I could be really more into is probably the Raiders. Maybe the Patriots. But I just had to take another upset special here. Just for fun, right? I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Players that need to prove themselves in the playoffs. Obviously, we talked about this last week. Obviously, Matthew Stafford. Obviously, Dak Prescott. Those are two that, come to my mind. It would be cool to see Josh Allen do something. And Aaron Rodgers, too. This really, sets a line on Aaron Rodgers next season, right? This is a big set of games here. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is in the playoffs this weekend, but this is a big set of games for Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, there's not much for Tom Brady to prove, but hey, it's gonna be good. I'm super excited for the Super Wildcard weekend. It's gonna be a good one. I will have another episode out next week. Obviously giving my thoughts on the Super Wildcard weekend because we got to do that, and then I will be having some other things. I'll probably have an interview out if I don't know who yet. I haven't really figured that out, but we are going to figure that out, and then I'll probably have I will have the next week playoff previews. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Sorry if it was a little short, but we really, we've been diving into the stories. I'm trying to think if there's any last minute things I want to get to. How about this? How about the Knicks getting Cam Reddish in exchange for Kevin Knox and a pick? Like, it's a pretty interesting pick. And someone asked me if I'm going to talk NBA basketball. Yeah, it's like I said, it picks up after football, and that's when we're going to really dive into the NBA basketball season. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, this has been Blindside Sports. Hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry for the short episode, but make sure you like the show, subscribe to it, download it, do what you gotta do, because word of mouth advertising is the best. Peace out.